So this is the part you're actually replacing right here. So welcome back. I'm gonna actually talk about the level up tie rod sleeves today. I already done the install about a week ago, but I am gonna try to actually just do a talk through of the step-by-step. This will give you a general idea of the tools necessary to do the install and also each step necessary to kind of go through it. It's not really that hard to do. It's rather easy. And I know that the install costs, I actually had seen on some of the boards, some of the actual Facebook groups, that the install cost for this is it's pretty pricey. I think a lot of people are doing it along with their level kits or front levels or just their 2-1 level kits. But anyways, anybody can do this with just some simple hand tools. So this is just going to be a kind of a walkthrough to hopefully make you all feel a little bit more comfortable on how to do this. Eventually, I'm going to show you also a video of how to do a full tire rotation on the Colorado. I actually, well, goodness, it looks like I left y'all hanging there. In the next video or two, I'm going to try to show you a full tire rotation on the Colorado, a step-by-step on that, along with a step-by-step on a 1-inch leveling kit, also by Level Up Performance. So let's get on to the sleeve kit. This is the sleeve, and this is the tie rod and where it's attached to. So initially you want to actually get your wheel or your truck jacked up and the wheel off. And of course, there you go. And so for the people that have the stock wheels and tires, from what I remember, the lug nuts are 22 millimeters. I used a bottle jack, and I'll show you those jacking points here in a second. It doesn't really have to be that far off the ground, just a little bit, enough to actually make the wheel lift up. So first and foremost, this right here is a 24, the stock nut. It will be a 24 millimeter. And then of course, this over here is a 21. So you'll want to actually get this right here. My goodness, if I can point to it. This one right here, that nut, that will be a 21. And that piece on top of it, you'll have to hold it at the same time with the wrench. Some people just use some pliers, but honestly, I used a 10 millimeter. 10 millimeter is what fits that. So you use your 21 and a 10 millimeter to hold it still, and you'll loosen it. Interestingly, you might think that these are really tight from factory. They are not. So they're very easy to get loose. So don't worry about that part. They're very easy to get loose. So once you get the 21 millimeter off and that loose, then you'll basically spin this off. Spin this part right here completely off. And you'll want to count your rotations. I think mine on this side was around 45 rotations off. And you'll want to make sure that you count exactly how many spins. And that was 45 half rotations. So in terms of half rotations, you'll spin it one side down and count that as one and one side up. But that was 45 half rotations. And you'll basically put it back on when you're putting it back together, 45 rotations back on. And this will help you stay in alignment. And if you, for some reason, get one off, you might have to spin it back out one half or one full rotation or 2 half rotations to make it back in alignment. That's what happened on our passenger side. I was just out a little bit and I did not notice it until actually I drove it. But I really probably could have noticed that had I actually lowered the vehicle and paid attention to how the wheels were sitting. Because one was actually pointed more, I think it was more inward, and I needed to push it a little bit more outward. But after that was taken care of, all was well. So once you get that nut off and once you get this toe bar off, you'll essentially grease this with your grease they send you from Level Up. It is just some anti-seize, and that's what this looks like. It's just anti-seize pack. As you can see, it's already been used. But you'll just grease the threads, and then you'll spin this back on. So this will replace your stock locking nut right here. And this will actually be a 21, I think, as well. Instead of the 24 that you used initially, this will be a 21. A 21 will work. So then you'll just tighten it back down once you get your 45 or however many rotations yours was. You'll lock it back against this. That's what keeps it in place. So, and then you'll put your nut back on. You'll attach it. Now, you may, whenever you first take this out, you may have to tap that top piece with a hammer. I didn't. I was very lucky. Mine just kind of slid right out. It wasn't bad at all. But you may have to tap it a couple times, just a couple times tapping, and that was it. So what this is supposed to do, from my understanding, like these are pretty weak, these bars right here that it covers is somewhat weak. And if you're off-roading a lot, or if you're doing some off-roading, it can bend. But they don't cover up more than, say, they leave a little bit uncovered so it does not hurt your power steering rack. So it seems like a pretty good design. It seems very sturdy. It was not a bad install. I've took it off-roading, I think, once since I put them on. And I mean, even before that, I didn't have any bending issues, but I'm hopeful that moving forward, it's a preventative modification. We shall see. I got a 1-inch lift, I guess, level kit for the front from Level Up that I'm going to put on, and I'll actually do a full install video of that. I was in a little bit of rush as it was getting dark out for these toe sleeves. It took me about 45 minutes for both sides. So if you have 45 minutes and just a little bit of basic mechanic knowledge, it's not that bad. It's very easy. So what I'll do now is I'll just show you kind of where the jacking point was that I used. Again, I used a bottle jack. I used a small block, I think it was a 4x4 on top of the bottle jack to get just a little bit extra lift. So one second, I'll show you that point. So this is where you'll jack from, and again, I used a bottle jack. And if you come, I'll show you kind of where you can find this at. A little bit bright out. So here's where the Colorado symbol is. Come directly down. There's your tire. Come directly down, under, and it's right towards the front here. It's right here. So it seems like it's right on your frame, but it's just a specific spot for your stock jack, but it worked perfect for a bottle jack. And again, a little piece of wood to kind of give it a little bit of extra support. So that's where I jacked from, and I didn't have to jack it very far to get the wheel off the ground. Do make sure you're in a level spot before you start jacking, just out of safety. I did use a wheel chock for the rear wheel, and I used a jack stand. I just kind of put it loosely under the front. I think it was what you call one of the arms down here. I just kind of put it right here to make sure if there's, or actually I put it right here, I'm sorry. So if there's any problems and if it failed, which again, you might want to do something a little bit differently than what I did to be a little bit safer. That was probably not the best idea. I'll do something a little bit differently whenever I do the Level Up kit, with the lift kit. But like I said, I'm just doing a 1-inch, nothing significant, but I'm just going to see how that does. But that's all for now. I'm going to have a little bit of the off-road video that I took after I put these on. It was from Bumpass Cove, which is near Erwin or Johnson City, Tennessee. So I hope you all enjoy that footage. See you next time.